Hello and welcome to another episode of PodcastDX, the show that brings you interviews with people just like you whose lives were forever changed by a medical diagnosis. Ron will not be with us today.
He's out bullfighting.
Bullfighting?
Bull. He's fighting with bulls. It's hard to deal. No? Okay.
No.
And I'm Jean Marie.
He's getting released from his...
He's getting released today?
Yeah.
He didn't do a long stint in the hospital?
Yeah, he went right from the hospital to a rehab facility, and he spent 5 weeks there, and now he's going home today.
Yeah, hopefully his shoulder is working well.
Yes. And I am Lita, in case anybody didn't know.
Okay.
I'm the one that rambles.
I thought I was the one that rambles. Okay, go ahead.
Collectively, we're the hosts of PodcastDX. On today's show, we're speaking with Frances Fessler, a professional athletic trainer. And Frances, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, and thank you for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Yeah, my name is Frances Fessler, and I am in Nashville, Tennessee. And a little bit about my background: I've been in the health and wellness industry for over 30 years now. So I was right out of high school. I was in the United States Air Force for 5 years, so I'm a veteran of Desert Storm. After that, I went to college. I graduated from Southeast Missouri State in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, with a degree in exercise science, sports medicine. After that, I went straight to work. I went to work as a personal trainer, and I never looked back.
Okay, all right.
That's great.
Wonderful. And thank you for your service
Yes,
to the Air Force.
thank you for your service.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
And Frances, this is Jean Marie. What inspired you to become a personal trainer?
So oddly enough, I knew from a young age, and I'm talking elementary, that fitness was going to be part of my life. I was an athlete in school, and as you can imagine, in growing up in the Midwest where I grew up with the name Francis as a boy in the 70s, it was kind of tough, right? So I took a little bit of heat, and I always thought, you know what? I'm just going to get in better shape than everybody else. And I'm gonna make everybody say, hey, I wish I was more like that guy. And that turned into, really started me working out and doing my thing in the 6th grade. And then from there, it's just all I really wanted to do. It's what I loved.
Okay, all right. They do say that with exercise, your endorphins are released, and it's a natural high. So I could basically say you've been high since you were 6.
Oh, boy.
You know what? You could. I'm very active.
All right.
That's great.
And Frances, or shall I call you Frank? Has anybody called you
Frank? I actually go by Francis.
Okay, all right.
Well, they have, but my mother named me, and that's what I go by.
All right, Frances. What are some of the benefits of working with a personal trainer?
You know what? The largest benefits in working with a personal trainer to me is having that accountability partner, right? Somebody that's in it with you. The other thing is the education you can get listening to your personal trainer, right? The techniques involved, all of those things, the different styles of workouts, what your goals are, being able to meet those things, right? Or learning how to create those on your own and move forward with them.
Yeah, I know it's really vital to do exercises properly to prevent injury, and that's a great advantage. And
personal trainers can be used prior to surgery,
right,
to prep you for that surgery.
Right, yeah.
So we're going to put that plug out, and hopefully we can get some more people your way in the Nashville area.
Yeah, I don't think people think about the
They don't
exercise. They just think about physical therapy afterwards.
Right.
But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I've done that with a few existing clients already, where they had something that needed to be done, and we talked with working with the doctors, which I've done through the client. It really is beneficial for everybody.
Well, yeah, Lita, before she donated a kidney, went to a trainer 3 or 4 times a week to get in as good a shape as possible. So she had no pre-existing conditions at that point, and just wanted to be in really good shape for her part of the surgery, and so that she could recover from that organ donation as quickly as possible. And I think it really benefited her.
Oh, yeah. I was bouncing around
Okay.
asking, where's the gym as soon as I got out of surgery.
First-hand experience. That's the best kind.
Right, right.
And Francis, how can we find out if a personal trainer is qualified?
So there are a lot of ways actually to find out if a personal trainer is qualified. You can go online and search your local area, whatever that is, and they will have that information out there, or trainers will be able to put their information out there. What I like to tell people to do is go to a facility, go someplace that you're comfortable, find a couple of people that are working in the industry and talk to them.
Okay.
Get their qualifications. Are you qualified? Do you have an education? Are you certified? Are you CPR certified? All of those things that come along with being a professional trainer. And even more importantly, than maybe finding all of the qualifications are obviously important, but you need to be able to get along with that person, right? If you're with a trainer and you don't really jive with them, neither one of you is going to get out of it what you need. So it's really good to go talk to them first.
That's
Good-
great
good advice, yes.
I know we've signed up for package deals in the past with the same trainer, and we had very different goals, and he wanted us to do the same exact routine. I was like,
Right.
How does that make sense?
Yeah, it didn't work for us. So we should have, really talked to the trainer before committing.
Right. And if people have a little better idea of what they're really looking for going in, it is obviously helpful to that trainer as well, right? Because trainers have they have specialties, right? I mean, all trainers, I work with athletes, I do this, those different things inside the world of fitness, right? So you need to find that person that's good for you.
Yeah, I know we had a Pilates instructor who was, her specialty was actually one of my medical conditions, which was amazing. So right away she's like, yep, that's actually my specialty. So yeah, I guess you guys are out there. We just need to find you.
And you got to ask the right questions.
Yes, and ask the right questions, sure.
Right, exactly.
So Francis, how do you personally stay motivated to work out?
What motivates me now, I've been doing this for so long. Motivation early on in my career came from, the things I wanted to do. I wanted to be a bodybuilder. I wanted to do these things. And that's kind of where my motivation came from. As I've been in the industry for decades now, my motivation truly comes from my clients. When I can see them benefiting and them changing their lives and becoming healthier people and living different lifestyles, I mean, that's what I need to see, right? That's where I'm at in my fitness world now.
That's fantastic. And Francis, what are the different components of physical fitness, and is it important to work on like all of them?
You know what? The different components, it's a long list, and if you don't mind, I'm going to use my cheat sheet and read them all off so that I don't miss any of them. Okay.
Sure.
Let's do that quick. So, muscular strength, endurance, cardiovascular fitness, flexibility, balance, agility, speed, reaction time, coordination. Those are what we're talking about here. And it is important to do all of those things in a single workout. But with the right trainer, it's really not that hard to do all of those things. The key is, which one of those things do you need more of? For example, somebody wants to come in and get ready for a surgery they're going to have. What do they really need to be doing, right? Or there's an athlete that's injured, right? And he needs to get back on the playing field. What do we need to focus on him, right? So each one of those has different focus points for different clientele, but you do typically use all of those things in a workout.
Okay.
And it's pretty simple if you have the right person helping you do so.
Well, like you said, I think it's the right person makes all the difference. I was recently reading about how a lot of people are saying, like they're walking for fitness, and they're saying that's fantastic. But when you're walking, you're maybe not working on all of those different aspects. But if you're walking with a personal trainer, they'll have you, doing coordination and reaction time things and mixing it up during the walk. And make sure that you're stretching before and after and improving your flexibility in addition to your cardio. Yeah, so it's really great to have someone who knows what they're doing so that they can, get you through the process, and maybe a few times with them can help you set up a routine so that you're working on all those things and also making it more challenging and different every time too. So
right, and there are some pieces of equipment that actually are created
specifically.
So that you can work, so that you can work different areas, like those half balls that are,
like a Bosu ball.
you kind
the
of,
Basu ball.
Basu.
right,
Okay.
you kind
Sure.
of balance on that,
Sure.
flexibility probably,
Yeah.
strength,
Yeah.
core strength for sure.
Right. I know.
So,
So a
that's nice
simple-
that they're inventing things like that.
Yeah. And
Yeah, even a simple squat from a chair holding 10-pound dumbbells for that person, or a squat with a bar with 200 pounds on it for that person, right? Those things are compound movements that engage your core, engage your balance, engage all of those things we're talking about.
Right.
Okay.
So it's really just putting the right exercises together.
okay, great.
Excellent. Francis, how can you help somebody bust through plateaus or, boredom possibly, and achieve new goals?
So boredom typically comes when things become mundane or the same, right? So for example, you're doing this same thing all the time. I work out 3 days a week. I work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This is my routine. It takes me 45 minutes. All of those things, right, are exactly the same. Really mixing that up, having the ability to switch up repetition counts, set counts, the exercises you're doing, where you're doing the exercises, inside, outside, all of those things really play a big part in helping people break through a plateau. One of the other things, that people don't think about a lot of times when they're working out, breaking through plateaus, is their nutrition. Their nutrition is, if they're eating really clean and doing well on their nutritional side of things, and you're mixing that up for them, that's another way to break through those plateaus. Hey, somebody trying to lose weight, right? So, hey, I came down 1.5 pounds because we switched up my nutritional routine a little bit, along with the exercise routine.
Sure.
So both of those things.
Sure. Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And what are some questions, we've kind of touched on this already, but what are some questions we should ask a personal fitness trainer or professional fitness trainer before our first session?
Initially for me, of course, there's the obvious things, right? So there's, do you have an education in the field? Are you certified in the field? Are you CPR certified? And in some cases, do you carry insurance? Do you carry liability insurance?
Sure.
All of those things are important to know, right? Especially if you're dealing with a trainer that is works for themselves, maybe on their own. You need to know those things. But again, not more importantly than those things, because those things are all important. But for me, it comes down to the relationship in how well you connect with somebody, right? So there's lots of us out there who are qualified and have certifications and do all of these things, right? There's a lot of us out there. I said it earlier, but do I get along with this person? Can we make this happen together? Because that really is the key to finding a good trainer, in my mind, is being able to get along with them.
Okay. Well, that's going to take some time to get used to the person to find out whether or not you're getting along with them.
I guess before, it's good to have those questions set. If you write those questions down, before you talk with them.
Yeah.
Typically, what I'm trying to say is, when you meet somebody, and you're kind of indifferent about meeting them.
You're right.
That seems, you need to get to meet that person, and then we've all met that person that's like, we don't jive, and you knew that within like a minute.
Actually,
right?
I had that experience this week. I absolutely agree.
Yes.
So during that first interview, you'll find out, right?
Yeah. Okay. Focusing on that part of it, right? Of course, you have to get to know people, but there's always that instance where you just know this isn't the right person.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Good.
And Francis, you touched on this a bit, but what role does nutrition play in your approach to health and wellness? I mean, is it
for his personal health and wellness, or for his clients?
Both.
Okay, for both. Okay.
Well, so y'all have heard this before, I'm sure, but you feed the machine, right? So based off of what you're trying to do in your workout, your nutrition needs to match that. Okay. You need to match that with good quality, dense food. You don't need to match that with highly processed, foods. So, nutrition is really the key to me, to all of it. Most people that get into nutrition, they want to, nutrition and exercise, they're looking to lose weight and maybe get in a little better shape, right? So a lot of times nutrition is the front runner for me. And then the exercise is kind of secondary to that. as
Sure.
far as losing weight and then having the energy to go perform your workout, right? You
Sure.
need the right
Yeah.
foods.
Okay.
You definitely need the right foods.
Okay.
Good point. And maybe if you stress that to your clients and say, it's not that I want you to be on a diet. I want you to have enough fuel
Right.
to get
Right.
through this workout.
Right.
That might change their
Yeah.
perspective on food completely and put them on a path to health.
So we appreciate
That,
that.
that's right on point. That truly is. You need to know how to talk to somebody. Tell
Right.
them what they need to hear.
Right.
For sure.
What advice do you have for someone who is just starting a new fitness program?
And we're going to take notes.
So someone who's, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said we're
We're
going to
gonna
take
take
notes.
Okay. Okay. So someone's just starting a fitness routine or going to the gym for the first time, maybe something like that. The first suggestion I have is go with a friend, right?
Okay.
Find somebody that you can go with, right? So and then you have the immediate accountability partner. And accountability, and I think y'all know this, I think everybody knows this. Accountability is huge, whether it's nutrition or exercise or anything you're doing in life. Consistency and accountability is it. So I feel like, having somebody to go with, going and touring a facility before you start working out there, get that comfort zone. Again, talk to the staff there, right? Get that comfort zone. And then maybe, a lot of times I'll tell people to go to a facility and take a class, more of a social class, right? Where they're doing let's say a beginner spin class, where it's not real hard, but there's a lot of people in there like-minded that they'll be able to connect with. And then that kind of brings down their guard and can break that barrier of being uncomfortable, maybe.
That's
And
great
getting
advice.
them into the gym.
Right.
But again, when you first start out, start slowly, ask questions.
Okay.
If you don't know what you're doing, ask somebody. They'll help.
Okay.
well. I
Thank
think he already answered your
you
question.
did answer my question, and it's funny because I just read an article about physical fitness cubes, where
Cubes?
you rent space in a one-room cube that has all the equipment in there, so you have like the gym to yourself. It was more of a pandemic thing,
Oh,
but
I see.
I guess.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that definitely was isolating from other people.
Yes.
Right.
But Francis, what advice do you have for someone? And you said, bring a friend. But anything else? Someone who's never stepped foot in a gym and is nervous about fitting in and not being a gym rat yet.
What's a gym rat?
Well, I guess I shouldn't say gym rat. I guess it's derogatory
Okay.
to rats. No.
To rats.
Like
No,
a
but
habitual gymmer?
Yes, someone who goes. I'm sorry, that was uncalled for. No, but you walk into the gym and it can be a little intimidating.
Especially if you're a woman
Right.
and
Yes.
it's a male-dominated gym. You kind of
Right.
wonder, what kind of looks am I going to
Right,
get?
but how is it?
Right.
What are the other people in the gym thinking? Are they looking at you, or are they just into their own routine? Is it something you even should be concerned about? And it's a valid concern.
That's a good question.
But from the other side,
It's a really good question, and I think it really depends where you walk into first.
okay,
Right? What type of facility you walk into. There are varying levels of facilities. We all know that. There's the very, very nice ones, and there's the ones where they don't really keep it up and it's not very clean, and all of those things. I think being a nicer facility is going to give you some relief initially to walk into the place, right?
Okay.
There are a lot of gyms out there that aren't bodybuilder gyms where you walk in and people are making noise and yelling and screaming. Now that would make anybody want to walk out the door,
Sure.
right? I think
Sure.
as far as that first time.
Right.
So you need to find that either that local, like a YMCA, or that local
Park
social
district.
gym
Right.
that you can walk into. Right. And people in the gym, most people that go to the gym to exercise are good people. They're not there looking at you or trying to make you feel, oh, you don't belong here type of situation in those kind of facilities. And I think that, it's all about getting in and talking to people once you get in there. And I know that's hard for people who haven't been in a gym, but if they can just get that first day or two out of the way, their confidence will skyrocket in a week. And then, oh, no big deal. Nobody's really watching me, So I'm going to go in. I'm going to do my thing over in the corner. And if I want to take a class, I'll take a class and meet some people. And, just really, you've just got to step out there. You've got to make that first step. It's really the only way that happens.
Okay. And I know this is off topic, but for me at least, given, some things I've seen in the media, I think it's important to know whether or not your gym is staffed. If they have like front of the house, not front of the house, but staff there whenever it's open, as just for Safety, yeah.
Absolutely, for safety, for questions, for all of those things you might have, right?
Yeah.
So I agree.
All right. Francis, what is the most misunderstood aspect of physical fitness?
I would say that the best is that exercise is the best way to burn fat.
Okay.
I don't, coming from where I'm at, nutrition is the best way to burn fat.
Okay.
If you eat right and do the right things, you use your stored fat as your energy source, right?
Okay. Right.
Therefore, not only are you're going to lose weight, but when you accompany that nutrition with exercise, it becomes a whole nother fat burning animal, right? So you can intensify that fat burn. But if you put them side by side, which one burns more fat? In my world, I base it off of the nutritional aspect of it, and then bring the exercise in to get that extra burn.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we should double up and have that processed food addiction episode right after yours when it posts.
Just reposted it.
I know,
recently,
but this isn't going to
post. You really liked it. Yeah.
Well, it's just that nutrition and fitness go together.
Right.
So.
And it used to be just a number. Like you want 3,500 calories is a pound. But in reality, you want to, when you're eating, you want to be eating nutrient dense as opposed. Yeah. So we
maybe we'll just get Joan back on.
Okay.
All right. Well,
it'll be the Joan and Francis show, and we'll just take a back seat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe
I would love that. The processed food world is it's ruining America for better.
Right.
And it really is. It's so bad for us.
Yeah, we've had Dr. Joan Ifland on our show talking about that. She's an author, and I really would like to get her on another episode and piggyback it with yours. So
that's interesting stuff.
I'm going to step back for a second while we promote a new idea. To better serve our listening audience and our guests, we affiliate with a major medical supplier here in the United States. You'll find affiliate links on our website, PodcastDX.com. And they aim to tailor specific medical supplies and equipment based on your diagnoses to make it less stressful than looking through an entire catalog for what you need. We are open to your suggestions for what products or equipment you would like us to offer, and we'll adjust our offerings based on what you, our listeners and guests, find helpful. But now back to our show, because Francis probably is doing push-ups over there while he's waiting for me.
I thought about it. No.
Francis, what role do mental health and psychology play in health and fitness?
Oh boy, mental health is huge. Psychology is huge, obviously, right? So from a mental health standpoint, when you are exercising, your body releases more endorphins, your body releases stress, it releases anxiety from a mental health state. And honestly, that's one of the main, that is my medication for my anxiety and my, issues with that stuff is working out, because it does those things for you. And that's externally lowering stress and can internally lower stress as well, right? So from a medical standpoint, it's huge. And psychologically, it's all about confidence, right? Building up confidence, right, in yourself, because when you build confidence in yourself, everything just comes a little easier, right?
Yeah.
So for me, those two things are, they're a main player in exercise, of course, 100%.
Okay. Yeah, and you were saying, building confidence. I know we do talk to people, with all different medical conditions, and it's interesting to see, that there are a lot of fitness programs tailor-made to some of those conditions like for Parkinson's, there's a lot of people who do boxing. And for people with Down syndrome, there's weightlifting programs, and for high blood pressure and cardiac disease, there's cardiac rehab, and it's fantastic that all of these things are out there and that those options are available. Thank you for what you do. But Frances, what are some of the advantages of maintaining a fitness routine?
Maintenance of fitness, your overall health, right? Okay. Your overall health is going to be better when you maintain exercise and nutritional program.
Okay.
Besides just your overall health, your confidence, your weight, all of those things stay where you want them to stay, right? So you're not fluctuating as much when you get into a routine like that where you're doing the yo-yo thing. Right, you're kind of just riding the wave, so to speak, but keeping a lid on it, so you're not changing yourself too much. You're staying where you want to stay, which is high confidence, low body weight, and that's really kind of it for me.
Yeah, that's great. Okay,
excellent. How did the COVID pandemic, the beginning and the middle, basically, we're in a surge right now, by the way.
Okay.
Change the way that you provide fitness training to your clients?
Okay, so when COVID hit, obviously as a personal trainer, at this point in my career, let me say this, at this point in my career, my schedule is pretty set from a daily basis with my clientele.
Sure.
I've had the same clientele for quite some time now. I do take on new clients, of course, but my majority of my clientele have been around. So we stopped working out, right? We weren't working out together. Okay, so I was like, oh boy, what do I do from here? There's got to be a way I can do this, and I knew there was Zoom, and I knew there was FaceTime, and all of those things. And I'm not a technologically savvy guy, right? So for me, it was tough. So I initially started with, FaceTiming my clients that wanted to FaceTime and continue to get their workouts in. And what I realized was when that started working for me, really doing like phone conversations with people and FaceTime conversations with my clients, when that started working for me, it really opened up a whole nother world to me, right? So now I'm no longer just in Nashville. Now I'm in... now I'm in Chicago.
Right,
now I'm in,
right.
Right. So I thought, So what I did was I created a program, a nutritional coaching program that is F2 Wellness, actually. And I have clients now from 38 different states. It really took me to another level that I didn't see coming. So, it hurt initially, but it made me think outside the box.
Excellent.
And that was
really
very
fantastic.
Beneficial. Yeah. It really made me think outside the box.
Okay. And Frances, do you have any tips for someone living with a chronic illness who wants to stay fit?
Yes. So I have a couple of those clients myself. So what I do with my personal clients is I work with their doctor, right?
Okay,
So
sure.
Me, the doctor, and the client.
Okay.
That's where we start. So we get clearance from the doctor. We make sure everything's okay on that end. We clarify what we're going to be doing with my client. I'll say, Doc, this is what we want to do. Is this something, and then we get their reaction to that. And it works quite well when you can do that, right? When you have trust between the client, the doctor, and the trainer. It works incredibly well. So that's the first thing. The other thing is, when you have that chronic illness, it's easy to be down. It's easy to be, oh man, I just wish I did this thing, and it's really about, again, the mental aspect of it comes back into play. The psychological aspect of it comes back into play. You've got to be able, as a trainer to that person, pull them up when they need to be pulled up, help them stand back up again, right? And push them forward, right? And give them praise for that, because that's not easy when you're dealing with something like that. It's not easy. So it's a delicate thing, but it's definitely doable.
That's fantastic.
And you can build a routine that way.
That's fantastic.
Right. I know if I had a personal trainer during COVID, I would appreciate
Well, just in general.
just FaceTiming
Yeah.
or interacting so that I know that I'm still on track and I'm not losing
Right.
ground.
Yeah, and
Keep
having
it, yeah, it keeps you in the game, right?
Right, right,
absolutely,
So to speak.
right.
absolutely.
Right.
And how can we support a family member or a friend who is embarking on a new fitness regime?
You know what? First off, you support them by being happy for them, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
great. Then you support them by maybe being a partner with them, right? Maybe helping them set their
Sure.
goals. Maybe helping them set a lot of goals, the smaller goals that are attainable, the bigger goals, and then really just kind of focus on, hey, keep your focus on this because you're trying to run this marathon, and I know this is what you're doing, and you have to do all these baby steps before we get to that point. So you need that from family and friends,
Mm-hmm.
for sure, and really just be supportive, right? When they come back, say, hey, what did you do today? Just talk to them about it. Get them kind of jazzed up about what they're doing,
Right.
which isn't hard to do with people when they're excited about something. They'll tell you,
Mm-hmm.
and that brings out all the mental side of it, right? It brings all of those things. Like, oh yeah, this is great,
Right.
and you're helping them feel that way.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
And then another way they might be able to help is offering to take on some of the chores or duties that they had routinely.
Give them space.
Give them space
give them the time.
and time available to
sure.
go to the
Absolutely,
gym.
give them
Yeah.
the time. Yeah, that's perfect. That's on point for sure.
And I know
Alright.
it can be hard for some family and friends. And I guess for some people, and I know this is, I've seen this, I read about this, when a person starts to make change, say a person who is morbidly obese or is living with obesity rather,
Right.
and they decide to make that change, sometimes family and friends, their initial reaction is not always as positive as you would like it to be. They're not always as supportive as you would like them to be because they see you and they put you in a box, and then they see that you're changing and that you're dynamic, and so that they're afraid that how your dynamic with them is also changing. So they'll, they say
Right,
that,
I understand that.
yeah, family and friends might sabotage your
workouts.
Right.
your diet, and things of that nature. And it's another mental challenge, you in a hurdle that you have to get through. And a personal trainer, I think, can make a big difference because you have someone in your corner. I'm doing a lot of
No, I get it
okay,
though. So
but you have somebody in your corner who's there and saying, no, you're on
Yeah,
track, you're
100%.
doing great,
Right,
you're
right.
every day is a little bit better. And
well, you know what? Like you were saying, or
Right.
like Francis was
Yeah.
saying earlier, you have a team, the doctor
right.
and the client and the personal trainer.
Right.
Well, maybe we need to introduce a family member or friend to that team
right.
and have the dialogue with everybody.
Right, and realize that even though that person might be
Absolutely.
changing, but they'll be, they're able to do things they weren't able to do maybe, and it's just it can be a challenge. So I see what you mean by family and friends and support makes all the difference.
Yes.
And I do have another
Follow on?
question.
Okay.
I have a
Yeah.
question, and I hate to put you on the spot, but another thing that I've been reading about a lot
No worries.
lately is deep vein thrombosis with people on long trips, especially in the summer.
True.
You do a long car ride maybe, and then people spending a lot of time at their
Sure.
desk.
Right.
So I was wondering, is that something a professional
Right.
or personal trainer can help? Is develop a break routine, like so when you pull over to fuel up your vehicle, or
What you should do.
right, or when you take a break from your desk, what you can do.
Absolutely.
Okay, because I think that would be really fantastic.
Absolutely.
Even to have a like a
Yeah.
Uh,
So
go ahead.
when you're in a car or on a plane, right? Movement is key. So as I like to tell my clients, motion is kind of lotion, right? So you're not feeling right, you get up and start moving, things will start feeling better. So you're on a long car drive and you get out at the gas station, walk in, walk back out, walk around the car, clean your windows, whatever you're going to do. There are so many small things that you can do. You can do a quick stretch that takes you maybe 2 or 3 minutes, right? You can do a couple of simple air squats to stretch your low back out. those types of things. And that would, it just really gets things moving again. Jump back in the car. Next time you get out, it's the same routine. Just walk around, get a little bit of movement, stretch yourself easily. It takes a couple of minutes literally to do that. It's just people, focusing on that, right? Like wanting to do that.
Right. Okay.
Right. Who's going to be watching me at the gas station if I'm, doing this or that?
Right.
If you're exercising outside your car, but, it is what it is. That's the way to do it.
I think Lita's laughing because when we were waiting for a flight, there was a dancer for a band for a concert we had seen, and she was going to be on the same. And actually, the whole band was on the same flight as we were. Anyway, she was doing like deep lunges and high kicks, and my mom and I were sitting there thinking, maybe we should stretch a little. Because, oh my gosh!
Yeah, it does make you feel like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah,
right.
Why? I was like, holy cow! But yeah, doing what you can is that's fantastic.
Now I'm wondering, should they have?
Just move.
We were also military back in the day, and should they have?
Yeah, back when we had horses pulling the
not that far back.
Armor.
No, but should they have those little exercise stations at airports, at rest stops on the highway?
I would love that to see the outdoor gyms.
Right.
At a rest stop.
They've got they got parallel bars or whatever, or a push-up bar. I mean, just to encourage.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be a way that we can encourage
I think
people
that's a fabulous idea.
Yeah, or even just having well, anyway, okay.
Well, come on, spit it out.
Well, I was gonna say like like having
just even honestly you pull, even if you had some type of you pull up to a rest stop in your vehicle and there's something on the wall there that hey, if you're do these things, right? I mean, just something very simple. It doesn't even have to be equipment.
Right.
It could be, like you said, kind of a squat or an easy hamstring stretch, or find a bench and do a push-up on it, something like that, right? It would be that way it would be there. It certainly wouldn't cost anything to do that for those people, to hang up a poster with some instructions on it, which would be beneficial to people, I would think.
Right. Yeah, and you often wander around and look at all of the signage, so that would be great.
Well, I know this week, just one last.
That's the first thing you do at a rest stop, right?
Okay, one last
story. No, one last story.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I have a pulmonary embolism, so I'm not supposed to be sitting for any great lengths of time. And I know this. However, one day this week, I was at a hospital with my husband, and I got there too early because he misunderstood what time the procedure was going to be. So I was sitting for 6 hours straight, and I noticed my pulse ox dropped to like 70. I'm like, well, this isn't good. So they had actually just brought him down for the procedure when I noticed that I can't sit anymore. I said, good, I'm going for a walk. But I didn't want to leave the area because the doctor was going to come out and tell me what's up. So I just paced back and forth and back and forth in the hall.
You could do stretches on the wall, push-ups off the wall. Yeah.
But you gotta realize that your body does not. It really was not made to sit all day.
No, we're not.
Correct.
Yeah.
We got to get up and we got to move.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I think we're going to thank.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, Francis. How can our listeners learn more about you and F2 Wellness?
Absolutely. So, excuse me. So absolutely. You know what? I like to talk to people. I give everybody my phone number so they can call me.
All right.
We've had one other person do this.
476. That's okay. 5110.
Okay.
They can email me at f2wellness, the number 2, F and then the number 2 wellness.com.
Okay.
They can go to my webpage at f2, the number 2 again, F the number 2 wellness.com. So f2wellness.com.
Okay.
And follow me on Instagram at F2 Wellness.
Okay. And what was the area code for your phone number? I didn't get that.
615.
615. So 615-476-5110. All right. Hopefully we get you some more clients and some healthier humans in the future.
Yeah, thank you, Francis.
That'd
It's
be
been
great.
an honor to talk to you. And again, thank you for your service as well.
Yes.
If our listeners,
Absolutely. I appreciate both of you for having me on.
no problem. It was
You're
a
welcome.
pleasure.
You're welcome.
And it's also, making us want to think about our
Awesome.
fitness routines. If our listeners have any questions, or
Going to
comments-
the gym this afternoon,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, we might be.
yeah,
Yeah.
we might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking, where's my ID? If our listeners have any
Yeah,
questions,
there you go.
Yeah, I'll find it. If our listeners have any questions or comments about today's show, they can contact us at PodcastDX@yahoo.com.
And if you have a moment to spare, please give us a review wherever you get your podcast.
As always, please keep in mind that this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment and before undertaking a new healthcare regime. And never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you've heard on this podcast.
Till next week.